If you find yourself struggling with finding new manga to read, then I want to talk a little bit about manga magazines. Manga magazines are just that, magazines. I have one as an example right here. They're very big with curated manga. So every manga that's featured in a manga magazine is for the same demographic, and they all follow a very, very, very broad theme. This one here is called Margaret. This is a shoujo romance, typically manga magazine. So everything in here is for young women, and just about everything is romance. Not always, a few do sometimes sneak in, but typically that's what this is. So if you like any of these manga, even just one, there's a high likelihood that you'll probably like at least one of the other. So that's why I really like manga magazines, because it gives me a chance where, say, I know I really like, for example, Yona of the Dawn, which is a Hana to Yume series. I know that I love that series so much. I will go to the Hana to Yume website or the magazine if I can find the magazine, and I'll see what else they're publishing. So they're also publishing Snow White with the Red Hair. Maybe I'll like that because they're both in the same manga magazine. That sort of thing. But today, I wanted to talk about everything that I've collected from the Dessert manga magazine. Unfortunately, I don't have a physical dessert magazine. They're hard to come by in Canada. But I want to just go through everything that is dessert in my collection. And the dessert magazine manga have a sort of theme of delicious romance. And this one is also a shoujo romance magazine. Starting off very strong is Choking on Love, or Museru Kurai no Ai o Ageru. Yeah, I said that right. This is a university slash college romance about a graphic design student and I don't remember what Gaku studies. I think painting, but he's a musician. And this is a very, very nice romance. There are currently 6 volumes out in Japanese. I find this one to be very, very stressful, but I am really enjoying it. Just it's taking me through a ride. A slightly newer one is this one called Ore no koi ni ochite kudasai. This one's a workplace romance, so slightly older. And this is probably the most adult one, to the point that I'm surprised it's a dessert series, but it is an office romance about a woman who, instead of music, she likes listening to handsome men's voices. So there's a thing where, like, you can buy audio recordings of men with nice voices saying things to you, and she just listens to that. And one day at her office, she meets this man who has a very, very nice voice. And when she realizes he has a nice voice, she goes like crazy for him. And he's chill with it. Like, he likes that she likes his voice. And like, he even lets her record his voice at one point. It's fun. There's not a lot of plot. Um, yeah, I enjoyed it. I'll continue reading it. Just I was a little bit surprised. This one does feel to me like a tiny bit out of place for a dessert series. Out of all of the dessert series that came out this year, this one is my favorite, and it's called Yori-kun to Yori o Modosu. It's called Yori-kun to Yori o Modosu wake ni wa. Hard for me to say. This one is such a cute series. It's a university romance about a couple who dated in middle school, split up, haven't seen each other since. They both moved to Tokyo to start university, and it just so happens their new apartments are literally next door from each other. And when they realize that, like, she's terrified and he's just surprised. And instantly he tells her, like, let's get back together. Like, let's date. Do you have a boyfriend? No? Let's date. Perfect. And she is pissed at him. He ghosted her when they were dating. She doesn't, like, she's pissed. So she says, no, like, I want a fresh start in Tokyo. And he's like, I'm not going to give you a fresh start in Tokyo. I'm not going to let that happen. And it basically follows him trying to get her back. And she clearly still has like lingering feelings for him, but she has not forgiven him. And that's that. It's really, really funny. Like, he's kind of toxic, obviously, but in a funny way. So like, it's a really fun series. This one called Chorokute Kawaii Kimi ga Suki. I only have the first 2 volumes. I think there's about 6 volumes in this series. This one is a Yankee romance. I think the English is like, you are too naive, my sweetheart. That's what it says on the cover. I did drop this one. I only read like half of the first volume, even though I own the first 2. It just felt a little bit too young for me. So dessert does sometimes have a little bit more mature, a little bit more immature. This one felt a little too immature for me. It's a high school romance where our female lead is very, very naive. She takes people at their word a little bit too much. And this Yankee student who is very, very blunt with his, I'm interested in you, please date me. And she'll be like, oh, I fell for that in the past, not going to fall for it again. I'm not going to be naive with you. And I just found it really frustrating, so I did drop this one. This one is, I think, the first dessert series that I fell in love with, and it's Hikaeme ni itte mo kore wa ai, or Love, That's an Understatement. And this one is also being published in English, so happy about that. This one currently has 7 volumes in Japanese, I think 2 to 3 in English. And this is a Yankee romance about the romance between this guy here, his name is Zen, and an honors student named Lisa. And Zen kind of helps Lisa learn that she needs to depend on people more. She doesn't have to do everything by herself. And Lisa helps Zen navigate life, basically. This is, I don't want to say it's my all-time favorite dessert, but it's up there. I really, really highly recommend this series to everybody. I will say I have not read everything in my collection because this is Kawazurai no Eri, or Lovesick Ellie. I got this one because it is a Fuji Momo series. It's by the author of Hikaime ni Temo. I haven't read it yet. I only have the first volume. I've had it for a while. I have nothing to say about it. I don't know what it's about because I have not read this yet. Another one that I'm really, really enjoying is this one here called Watashi no Koi no Hajimekata. This one currently only has 3 volumes out in Japanese, and I think it's going to end soon, and there's no English for it yet. But this is probably top 3 fluffiest romance series that I own. It is a high school romance about a girl who loves love and a boy who loves watching her love is basically they start dating, and it's just there's not like a huge plot. It's just fluffy vibes, and it's a really, really nice series. To You can read it so fast, nothing stressful about it. I'm really, really enjoying it. Koi seyo mayakashi tenshi domo, or Fall in Love, You False Angels, does also have an English, and it currently has 5 volumes in Japanese. This one is probably up there on my top favorite dessert series. It follows 2 high school students who kind of pretend to be like they wear a mask is how it's described, where they pretend to be okay with everything, kind of perfect students, but when they're alone with each other they're able to drop their masks and just be themselves. And it kind of talks about them trying to navigate their feelings with each other. I do a bad job explaining it, but it's a very entertaining series. However, there is kind of a love triangle. There is a little bits of drama that I don't love necessarily. And I will say I do like some volumes of this more than others. So I do think this one isn't the most consistent in, I don't want to say quality because it's always like good, but I don't think it's consistent in plot. Some volumes I like more than others, basically. Another series that is sadly ending soon is Okuremashite Seishun. This one currently has 4 volumes, so I guess the 5th one will be the last one, and I'm so sad about that. Currently, there is no English, but it will be getting an official English print with Kodansha come next spring. Thank you, Kodansha. And this is similarly to Watashi no Koi no Hajimekata. This is just good vibes, basically. This one is a little bit older, following the romance between 2 university students who, during their high school days, were too busy with like life, studying, clubs, way too busy to actually enjoy their youth. And I'll say, like, university, you're still young, but so now that they're in university and they have a little bit more free time on their hands, they dress up as high school students sometimes. They like to cosplay, and they do things that they wish they could have done in high school together. And it's just cute. You get to watch their relationship grow really fast, and you also get to watch their friends root for their relationship. So it's so cute. I'm so sad that it's ending. This one is one of my older favorites. I haven't read it in a little while, and it's Nano ni Chigira-kun ga Amasugiru. And this one does have a live action movie that I wish I saw, but I haven't seen yet. I have the first 6 volumes. I think there's about 12 or 13. A new one like just released today. I got the notification. And it's a very, very sweet series about a girl named Maya who has a crush on a boy, confesses to him, and he doesn't even know who she is. Like, she was kind of creepy about it, and she's devastated. And our male lead Chigira when he hears Maya's woes, he asks her to pretend to have a crush on him, like so she can get over the boy, which is like, it sounds kind of weird, but it's actually really sweet. And through pretending to have a crush on him, he lets her like stalk him, like do all the things that she wants to do. He starts to develop feelings for him, and they pretend date. So it goes from a pretend crush to a pretend dating to actual dating. It's just cute. Like the stakes are never high. Maya's really weird, but like in a endearing way. I'm really enjoying this series, but I am reading it very slowly. I do have it also digitally, and I read it digitally like years ago, but I want to have the physicals in my collection because it's near and dear to my heart. Another high school romance, Utsumi-kun no Koi no Uta. This one I did drop, so I only have the first volume. There are more than one out, only in English. So I'm pretty sure this one doesn't have a doesn't not. I'm pretty sure this doesn't have an English. It's only out in Japanese, is what I was trying to say. This one is about a girl who's kind of a loner in high school, spends her lunch periods not talking to her classmates, but instead listening to music, where she meets Utsumi, who is her just happens to be her favorite underground musician. And he doesn't understand love, and he asks her to like kind of pretend to go on a date. So many pretend relationships. They pretend to date so that he can understand love, so he can write a good love song. And she wants to hear his love song, so she goes along with it. The only reason I didn't like it is because it felt very, very, very slow for me. I might do a reread because I did read this like a year ago. Maybe my feelings have changed, but it just dragged on for me, unfortunately. University romance series, Inmei no Hito ni Deau Hanashi, or How I Met My Soulmate. I have the first 6 volumes. I don't know if there's more than 6 out in Japanese yet. It does have an English as well. I am not caught up on this. I am taking a little breather from this one because this one stressed me out. Not in like a really bad way. Just I am not a huge fan of the female protagonist in this series. I do find she's bad. Like she believes everything people tell her, and then she acts on it without confirming anything, which is really stressful for me. I don't love her. But this is a series about a girl in university. She moves to Tokyo and she wants to find her soulmate basically. And it's really hard to find people who actually want like a serious relationship versus just like casual dating. And she'll go to like clubs and stuff to try and find a boyfriend, which is not it. And she meets a boy who tells her like, "You know what? I'll help you find a soulmate. Like, let me help you." And he's so mature. I like him. And she has his help and he helps her try and find like a good boyfriend is the overall story. Just there's a lot of drama that I don't think is all that necessary. And yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, but university, lots and lots of drama. This one is so popular, I feel like everybody knows it, but it's Yubisaki to Rennen, or A Sign of Affection. This one obviously does have an English, and it also has an anime. I have this one on pause. I have the first 11 volumes, and I've read the first 5. I don't know if there's more than 11. There's about 11, maybe 12, published in Japanese. This is about the romance between a deaf university student and her slightly older world traveling university student boyfriend, basically. And the only reason I have this one on pause right now is because I do feel like the story centers on her like wanting to please him, I guess. It's like it's so broad, but like I feel like everything Yuki does, the female protagonist, I feel like everything Yuki does is centered around her boyfriend. And I want her to do more stuff for her, not just for him. Kind of is it's such a non-complaint. It is a really cute series. Like there is some fluff, not too much plot, but I don't think there's enough fluff for there to not also be enough plot is my other complaint about this one. Another university series called Isso Anata ga Todome o Sashite. This one does have an upcoming English release, I'm pretty sure, by Kodansha in the spring. I might be wrong, but I feel like it has one. This is a very, very stressful series for me. This one reads like a K drama to me. It talks about a girl who is kind of flashy, who really wants a serious relationship. But because of her looks, the only men that approach her are men who just want something casual. And she meets this man who she finally gets along with. It takes her so long to find a man she even really wants to talk to. And he eventually reveals that he also just wants to like hang out. He doesn't want anything serious. He's talking to multiple women at once. He even tells her like, if you leave now, I have like 3 girls that I can call and they'll come like right now, which is scummy. He's scum. I don't like him. But it tells basically their story. She ends up falling really hard for him and she wants him to want a serious relationship with her. And it just kind of follows their very, very complex relationship. And I hate him so much. She deserves better. But yeah, I've only read the first 2 volumes. There are 4 out right now. I've read half of it. And I have it on pause only because it stresses me out. I do have to read volume 3 really soon because I want to catch up. Another university romance is called Higashisengoku-san no Makeup Doll. I really, really like this one. This one has, I think, 7 volumes out in Japanese. I only have the first 3 purely because I cannot find 4, 5, 6, or 7. I think 7 either just came out or it's about to come out. But I've read the first 3. And it's so nice. It's about a girl who growing up was always seen as like the mom friend, where like she was always capable, she has everything in her backpack with her, she's kind of sporty, that kind of friend. And after entering university, she wants to be seen as not like the sporty dependable mom friend, but the beautiful university student, like she wants to have a university debut. Like, good for her. But it's kind of hard for her to do when growing up she never put on makeup. Like, you can't just know how to do makeup. So she's struggling and she's struggling when she meets Higashisengoku-san, who is a makeup student. A lot of things happen, and basically she becomes indebted to him. And to pay him back, she has to allow him to basically do her makeup every day for like a while, which is like good for her. Like, she really enjoys it. But it talks about their growing relationship through him beautifying her. And it's really, really nice. He kind of teaches her about fashion. It's very sweet. I really, really like the series. And this is another one that's ending that I'm very, very sad is ending. One of the other, like, kind of surprising that it's a dessert series is this one. And it's called Himokuzu Hana-kun wa Shinitagari. Like, kind of warning, this one did just get announced that it's getting an English, at least digital. Look up the trigger warnings for this series before you read it. Please, please do yourself that favor. This one goes places. It's a pretty dark romance. I really enjoy it, but I like romance and I like horror. So when they're put together, I love it. But that's me. If you don't like dark series, do not read this one. I saw something on Twitter where it was announced as just like a clingy boyfriend romance. Read it now. And that's not what it is. This goes places. And like, even the title of this is like, he wants to like and that's in Japanese. Like, I don't want to say the word just to be safe. But in English, it's not like that. In English, it's like, Hana won't leave me alone, which is not the same. Like, everything was kind of changed. So if you read this in English blind, it will surprise you. It's not like that dark, but just I want to, like, people don't. Everything I've seen for it in English has been like lighthearted comedy about clingy boyfriend, and it's not that. But this is about a office worker, so slightly older. Office worker hates her life, absolutely wants it to be over, basically. Like, she's done with her life. When she meets this boy who is homeless, just chilling out, and he's like, "Hey, like, let's hang out." And basically, he helps her home. He's in her house now, doesn't want to leave. Like, tell me your location at all times. Like, I need to know everything about you, but don't ask any questions about me. So he is stalking her to a terrifying degree, and she just kind of lets it happen. She's very, very passive in everything in her life, and she's upset with herself for that. But we know nothing about him at all. We learn a little bit about him come volume 2. I'm not going to spoil it. But he is so secretive. We know he's homeless, and we know he's been living with random people forever, for however long, but we don't even know his name. He asks her to name him, and she names him after her cat. And he's like, "Chill. Like, that's my name now, I guess." Um and yeah. So it does go places. I'm not going to do a big spoilers. Let me know if you want big spoilers for it. But yeah, like, it does get a little bit violent. It can be a little bit upsetting if you're not ready for that. Just a warning. I do really, really like this one though. If you like dark romance. It is very interesting. Volume 3 did just come out, or it's about to come out, and I'm going to read it right away, obviously. But you have to be prepared for a dark romance. Happier one is Bokura no Suki wa Warikirenai. This one will be getting in English from Kodansha in the spring. Also, don't remember the English title. But this one has complicated relationships, okay? There's a love triangle. And I'm going to spoil just volume 1 because I feel like it needs to be spoiled a little bit. So, love triangle. Our female protagonist here moved away with her mom when her parents split up. This is her brother on the cover. So they were split up. He stayed with the dad, she stayed with the mom. Split up. Years later, stuff happened. The parents get back together. They're living together now. She gets flustered at who she thinks is her brother. Not good. Really not good. She meets her neighbor who grew up handsome, and she remembers him from when they played as children. She remembers having a really good time with him. So they're chill. But she still gets flustered from her brother, which is a big no-no. So he learns that she likes her brother, which is bad, and he offers her to be in a pretend relationship just until she can get over her strange feelings for her brother. I can't stress that enough. And she's like, yo, okay, I guess. Like, she doesn't want anybody to know. Like, she's embarrassed about it. It turns out they are not siblings, okay? So it's a little less bad. They're not siblings. One of them is adopted. I think he's adopted. She doesn't know that. The parents know it. She doesn't know it. I don't know if he knows it either. So there's that. I will say it's entertaining. It's a very entertaining series, but strange relationships. We don't know how the brother feels, but he does. Like, I think he feels like she's his sister. I don't know if he knows that he's adopted or that one of them is adopted. She definitely doesn't know. I don't know if he knows, but he is such a kind older brother to her. I don't know why. I don't know why they had to do it like that. But there's that. It's a very entertaining series. I will say that it's very, very entertaining. One with a normal relationship is called Kuroko to Akuyaku-kun. This one has 2 volumes. The second volume is on my TBR shelf right now, and it's a sweet one. It's a high school romance about a girl who has always run things behind the scenes. Like, as long as everybody else is happy, she's happy kind of character. But she is a little bit sad that she isn't really able to experience like her high school youth as good as she potentially could. And the like villain character, who is actually not really a villain, but he kind of swoops in and tells her he's gonna put her in the spotlight and he's going to kind of force her to experience youth, basically. And it's a really sweet story. There's not really all that much romance, at least in volume 1. We're getting to know all the characters and whatnot, but I am really enjoying it. I do think all of the characters are rather likable, and I do think the art is very cute. A series with only 2 volumes, unfortunately no English, is called Aoharu danante Kimi no sei. This one it's cute. It is an age gap one, though, with a high school student who is an expert on all things youth and a slightly older mangaka or a manga author who doesn't really know anything about youth. And when she is working for him as a housekeeper, he ends up hiring her to also teach him about youth, is basically the overall of it. It's sweet. It's really nice watching them get to know each other because, like, if you can get over the age gap, it's not that big. She is like she's very confident in her knowledge about youth, but she's not confident in her like romance knowledge. While he comes off as very aloof. It's really, really hard to understand what he's thinking, which makes her even more kind of flustered. And it's a cute series. I really, really enjoyed it. And I do think 2 volumes was the perfect length for this specific series. Normally, I do complain when series are very short. This one, I think they told the story and it wrapped up well. This is probably my favorite one shot. I do only have, I think, like 2. But this is Hotere Hotete First Kiss. This is by the author of Fall in Love, You False Angels, and it also does have an official English print. And it's just cute. It's an anthology, one shot of the story of people's first kisses. And when this is like, when you say dessert manga, this is what I think of. Just like very, very sweet, fluffy romance series. This is a very cute one. One series that I know a lot of people are very bummed that there is no official English publish yet is Futarijime Romantic, which I'm also bummed there's no English publication for it yet because it's such a good series. This one is complete at 3. Why doesn't it have an English? It's only 3 volumes. I don't know. But it tells the story of a girl who is a hopeless romantic and she has heavily, heavily romanticized her first kiss to the point that she remembers the boy's first and last name. And when she hears a boy, this boy, who has the same first and last name at his school, she just goes up to him. She doesn't know him, but she goes up to him and she's like, "Hey, were you my first kiss?" And the boy's like, "What did you just ask me?" And that's their first meeting. And it just kind of tells their relationship. It is so sweet. They're both super duper awkward, where he doesn't really seem to have an interest in romance. He's very kind of, I don't want to say aloof because he's not really aloof, but he's just kind of awkward and he internalizes it. So he doesn't really show it all that much. Well, she really is interested. She loves romance. And it's so sweet. Eventually, we find out there's 2 boys with the same first and last name. And she has to be like, oh, like, which one of you 2 did I share my first kiss with? And it's so sweet. It's a really, really cute series. While technically it's a triangle, it's not really a triangle. You know she's going to end up with, he's on the cover. You know who she's going to end up with. And those are all of the dessert manga series that are in my collection. If any one of them sounded at least a little bit interesting, I think you might like a couple of them at the very least. Some of them are definitely different than others. Some have strange relationships. Some are darker than others. Some are more lighthearted and fluffy. Some are more plot heavy. Some are workplace. Some are university. Some are high school. I don't think there's anything younger than high school, at least in my knowledge. But yeah, I don't have all of the dessert ones. There are a couple ongoing that I really want to get my hands on, like that Butler one. Um, but not yet, unfortunately. Very sad.